How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Day of the Dead, the TV series. This is Season 1, Episode 2, Chum, from 2021. This is once again directed by Steven Kostanski and stars Keenan Tracey, Doheny and Natalie Malaika, and is very, very loosely based on the Day of the Dead movie by George A. Romero. Now, I said this briefly in the first one, I'll say it briefly here. I love George A. Romero's original Day of the Dead movie. It's easily his most underrated zombie movie, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it right now. But there are a few remakes, so make sure you're watching the original Romero movie. All that being said, when we got this show, it basically kept the name, a few character names, and the fact that there are zombies, even though these are different zombies. So it's very loosely based on it, and that's kind of sad. I am curious. I love the Romero Zombies extended franchise. At the end of this video, a playlist will pop up, and you can see me talk about a lot of the other extended franchise. And I really wanted this to be good. I wanted to like it. And, you know, I'm rooting for Day of the Dead to have cool stuff. But, like I said last time, this show has major problems, and I was hoping they would clear up as we moved into future episodes, but sadly they didn't. And the problem with this show is 100% the humans. And I was hoping the zombies would come in this episode and start to eat some of the annoying humans, but the zombies are pretty much confined just to the Morgan Cemetery area, and you get the rest of the characters that aren't in that plot arc living about their average everyday lives, and a few zombies poke their heads out towards the end of some of their plot arcs. So let me just straighten that out. There are characters in a zombie show that are just barely beginning to encounter zombies at the end of episode 2. That's not good. And these characters are primarily evil, primarily jerks, and there's so many of them that I feel I don't really get to know the protagonist. And they're also busy doing stuff that isn't gonna matter when the zombie apocalypse breaks out. What does it matter, you planning your wedding or you trying to be mayor, if everybody's about to get eaten? So there's these plot arcs that I know aren't gonna go anywhere, but the show develops a ton of times towards them. So it's not fun. I'm hoping what should have happened in this episode happens in episode 3. I'm hoping the zombies come in and just get rid of a lot of bad characters and allow us to not have to focus on plots that don't matter. But, you know, we'll see. Let's talk about a few of these plots directly. I'm not going to be covering any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points, and I do want to make sure you guys have a basic understanding as to what the characters are doing, what the plot's about. And I'll also try to avoid ranting. I did a few takes previously, and it just turned into me angrily ranting at the camera, and that's not really who I want to be, so I'm going to try to make this a more calm analysis, but there are a lot of problems that we have to cover with this show. Let's start off with the morgue people. They're the only ones that are dealing with zombies directly from the beginning of this episode. They're the only interesting characters, and they're who the show should focus on. Scrap everybody else and just give me the morgue stuff. But anyway, turns out the main girl that works at the funeral home did get bit. And she goes, wait, that happens in the movies. We don't know if I'm going to turn in real life. And that's a fair point. You don't know the rules because you just got dumped into the zombie apocalypse. Now, if you guys are paying attention, you may remember that episode 1 opened up with the flash forward, and in the flash forward, we saw that this character is alive and well, so much for tension there, right? Anyway, one of the guys, all the zombies are in their little morgue drawers, and they can't get out. But one of the guys hears a zombie go silent, opens it up to check it out, and the zombie sticks a hand out. Idiot character. Idiot character. That's one thing, is it's, I think, supposed to be comedy. When comedy isn't good, it is cringy and terrible and hard to watch. If it was legitimately funny, I'd be laughing. But if it's bad comedy can be terrible, and that's what this is. So, they shut the door, the zombie's arm falls off, and this is where we get a big controversial element. The zombie's arm moves on its own. That is not Romero rules. We are clearly playing in Return of the Living Dead rules. Now don't get me wrong. I love Return of the Living Dead. It is the best zombie comedy ever made. It is a great, fun movie, and I love it. But that being said, this is Day of the Dead. If you were making a Return of the Living Dead show, that'd be fine. If you're making a Day of the Dead show, don't use the wrong movie's rules. Okay, here's an example. I like Godzilla. I like Paranormal Activity. Those are two different things. If I was watching Paranormal Activity and it ended with Godzilla squashing the Paranormal Activity house, that would be weird and I wouldn't like it. And that's sort of what this is. Adapt the thing you're supposed to adapt. Don't adapt the thing you want to adapt. But yeah, this is a bad Return of the Living Dead show masquerading as a bad Day of the Dead show. And if this was a Return of the Living Dead show and it was good, I would like it. I would love to have a Return of the Living Dead show. But the thing is, Return of the Living Dead had nihilism and punk rock atmosphere. This movie doesn't. And also, Return of the Living Dead was actually funny, and this show isn't. So there's that. Anyway, we've broken Romero's rules. There's no chance that this is going to be a prequel anymore, and we're just off the rails. Anyway, the zombie hand, back to that. The zombie hand crawls along the floor with no effort at all. It just wiggles its fingers slightly, and that thing moves. And goes up a wall. It's apparently a Spider-Man arm, I don't know. It goes up a wall and starts opening more doors, and zombie chaos ensues. So that's where we go with that one. Let's move along to the mayor. The mayor is still worried about election and still dealing with protesters. And yeah, this isn't gonna matter when zombies eat everybody. I don't know how this made it past so many people. Why do we care about this when zombies are just gonna eat everybody? Anyway, a protester follows them into the hospital. He's about to pull out a jar of contaminated water. The mayor's husband thinks it's a gun, fires his gun, not meaning to kill the guy, but accidentally does. And what are you gonna do? The mayor's husband killed someone right before election? Well, you put a hat and glasses on him, and you weakened the Bernie... and you get him out of there like Weekend at Bernie's. It's ridiculous. If this was funny, I might have laughed here, but like I said, non-funny comedy is just painful, and now we get a Weekend at Bernie's section in this show, so whatever. And also, yeah, to those of you who didn't like the politics, they're still around in this episode. Now, look, you can be for fracking, you can be against fracking. I would love to have a nice civil debate between people so we can learn from each other. I don't care what side you're on. But all that being said, this is not well integrated. It is politics pasted on top of a show and not integrated into a show and leading into just really bad political jokes. Romero's original zombie movies, they had politics in them, but they were integrated into the story and told well. Night of the Living Dead was about racism. Dawn of the Dead was about consumerism, and Day of the Dead was about government negligence. But they all worked into their respective movies, and it was really well done, and I like them. But here it's just plastered on top, it's not really well thought out, and there's just not really good arguments in this show. So yeah, that's that. The fracking stuff is still here, and none of it's gonna matter because zombies are gonna eat everybody. Let's move on. The mayor's son and his friend are busy carrying the world's heaviest beer keg. And that's about all they do this episode. For whatever reason, they park too far away, and they carry it at a snail's pace. Now, some of the dialogue is a little bit interesting. One of the friends is like, why am I even friends with you? All you do is get me in trouble. And they take one of the jerk characters and start to make him a little more well-rounded. If there were less characters in the show and I knew him a little better, I would care a little bit more. So the dialogue is a little interesting, but it's just around this really slow plot of them slowly dragging the world's heaviest beer keg through the woods. So yeah, not really much going on here. And you also get the guy getting married. The guy getting married, he found out his parents, who chose to fly in way too late, aren't going to be here in time for his wedding. And the wife says there's nothing we can do, we can't reschedule. His soon-to-be father-in-law, which I don't think was in the last episode. I don't know. If he was, I don't remember him. His soon-to-be father-in-law invites him over for an involuntary golf game where he says, hey, I've decided that I don't want to hand the company over to you. I'm going to run it till the day you die, and if you want to marry my daughter, sign this prenup. On top of all that, it's implied that he's doing this because he's racist. So yes, even though one of the jerk characters died in the last episode, we've replaced him with another jerk character. There's so many jerks in this show, so many evil people. Why did we need one more? Anyway, that's where that plot is. And then the last plot is the fracking drilling site. The lady is tied to a chair. Rather than write a creative way for her to get out, she just busts through the duct tape. She gets out, and a lady from the very high ups at the drilling company comes down and says, no, you did the right thing. I'm here to clean all this up. And she actually shuts the drill site down for the day and starts yelling at Rhodes. She gets the sheriff out of the hole. Overall, it seems like this is going well. But you know what I said about this show and evil characters? Yeah, it looks like she's gonna be a good guy, but we should know better with this show. Anyway, sadly, the problems from episode 1 are carried over here. There's way too many characters. Way too many of these characters are evil, and they're wasting time so much on things that don't matter, especially with zombies about to come out. And I can't, you know, just let me have a main character that I can relate to and root for. I don't know why this concept is so hard for the show. And on top of that, it doesn't even want to adapt Day of the Dead. It wants to be a Return of the Living Dead show. And it's not funny, and it's really trying to be funny. And so much of these first 2 episodes just feel like wasting time. And yeah, okay, I said I didn't want to rant. I might be ranting a little bit. Overall, I'm hoping that episode 3, the zombies come in and give a lot of these characters their comeuppance, and we can have a clear and focused zombie show. But like right now, there's like 5 to 10 minutes of good zombie stuff in the past 2 episodes. And I don't want to watch a whole hour show for just 5 to 10 good minutes. I'm hoping episode 3 will get better. I don't know how long I can hang on to this show. I really want to watch it because I'm such a big Romero fan. But this really isn't Romero, and I don't know how long I can hold out. We'll see. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll put a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Romero Zombies playlist. If you want to see the first episode, that will be there too, as well as other Romero stuff. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.